Well, good day, model railroaders, and welcome to a premiere video here on YouTube. Now, this is kind of the second one I've done, but I've taken part in a couple, and they're kind of cool. You get to sit back, chat with everybody else while you watch the video, and this one might be a pretty good one. We all know I was down in Arizona visiting with Vinny, and this video has one of the people that we went to visit, Mr. Chuck Baker with the River Valley Model Railroad. And I gotta say, it was an honor to meet the gentleman. Ever since I was watching him on YouTube right from day one when I started, I've just been fascinated with the man's work and his attitude and his place in this community. So when I was going to go down and visit with Vinny, I mentioned, like, obviously we're going to go see Joe G and Eric and stuff, but I said, hey, can we go see Chuck Baker? That'd be really cool. And he set it up for me, and down we went to Tucson. And I met one of my idols here in the YouTube community for model trains. And like I said, it was just an honor to meet the gentleman and see his layout, talk, spend some time. And it was a lot of time we spent there. It's just as you're sitting back and you're watching the videos and stuff like that, you get to think that you actually know these people and you're connected with them and stuff like that. And it felt just like that when I got to Chuck Baker's, and we looked at his layout, we operated it a bit. Well, John Dilly did anyway. He's really getting in there with the operations, but that's what it's all about. We sat around the table outside on his deck, and we must have talked for hours. So without further ado, guys, you're here to watch the video of us meeting up with Chuck Baker. So hopefully you all enjoy it, and well, talk to you again soon. Bye for now. Well, not bye for now. Watch the video. Who did that?
The power switch. Something just came up. Is it your one? No, it's just in that video of the layout.
Of course, then I gotta get everybody that's standing in the doorway. Like, jeez.
I know. I hope we didn't break your camera.
I think it's still working.
Luckily, you forgot to put your cord.
Yeah, I don't want to show you guys again.
Yeah. Hearing us videoing.
Came back. I just wanted to see the train go by, not you guys. There's got to be a way to get you guys out of the picture.
406 is okay, John. It's
okay.
405 we need to throw to 2. You know.
That's one thing I don't have on my layout is full turnouts. Mine are all manual. So I've never done that on here. You switch them on here, or you just...
No. Okay. So you select. Okay. These things here are
the little buildings in the back.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, but we're doing accessories.
Right.
So select accessories. Right. And if you turn around right here, the turnout is this one right here. That's the main line. See, this yard lead is supposed to be written down here. So
right.
That's how you get to that's the yard lead way. So you want to throw 405 to 2. Here's anything that the main line is always number 1. So
right.
I think he's yammering again. Seems to yammer quite a bit, even when he's trying to tell people how to do it. So I'm still yammering.
Sitting like over here where there's scenery. Because I want to sit down.
Okay, you sit.
Well, you can sit too on the milk crate.
Oh, I will. It just looks like he's going to pinch your ass.
Hey, you want the tripod?
No, we got him.
That's what I'm here for.
You only think you're going to sit for a minute, that's all.
Oh, well, see, now we...
Say hi.
Wow, are you doing this already?
Yeah,
All
I
right,
started it.
whatever.
All right, here we go.
Ready? Go for it.
Go.
Well, Chuck made it all the way from Canada, eh?
Yeah.
And the first thing I got to say about your layout is wow. And second thing, and you've heard this a lot today already, is the size of it. I watch your videos, your live streams, and this to me just looks huge. And I am sitting in what size of room?
10 by 12.
10 by 12. Span that a little bit. But how'd you come up with a track plan that was just so elaborate that you can sit and watch trains and run trains, do switching? You could spend a day in here easy, 2-3 people.
Well, I have to give kudos to Mark Rowdybush. We used to have a swing bridge down here at the door, and when somebody wanted to come in, everybody had to squeeze into this area here.
Yeah, because it swung out.
And Mark was here, I don't know, not too awful long, and he drew up a plan. I mean, he did several, it was a pretty elaborate thing, and he come in and showed it to me, and he said, here's an idea I have, Chuck, on how we could modify this track a little bit. And I looked at it for 5 or 10 minutes. I said, okay, let's do it. I was ready to tear up track, and he said, no, I want you to sleep on it. So the next day he came over and we started tearing track up. I mean, when I say tear, started disassembling the lower level. And so because I was driving over the road, I would come back in a couple of weeks and there would be all these major changes.
I remember that.
And,
Yeah.
and Mark was doing this stuff by himself when it was like 105 degrees. And then he got to the top level, and this here, the track used to be come out of a tunnel, and it went up the ski slope right there that's hid behind the mountain now. So Mark added another track in here, and we moved that track over there. It used to be that you went in here, and you came out here. So when he changed that, he put a crossover inside the tunnel along with that switch.
Yeah.
So now when you go in here, you run around hidden track.
Are you really going to give this out? You're going to give away the secret.
Well,
because they caught all of us on it. Running trains, and we'd always be looking right there.
Yeah, but it goes through it goes between this track and that track up there, and it comes out over there by the cut rock. And that was Mark's idea, and he said it's really going to be cool if the train disappears. He said everybody is going to think they're going to be looking right there, and everybody the first time here, and even me, sometimes I'm waiting for the train to come out.
Well, it's like a whole new dimension of your layout. Like you said, once it comes in there, and by the time it comes out behind me, it's almost like you've kind of forgotten what you're really doing on the layout, and once you come out on this side, now it's almost like you're running a brand new layout again. So the reason why I guess it looks so much bigger on videos and stuff is because of all your dimensions.
The train disappears for so long.
And it does. And when it comes back out, it's something completely new that you're looking at. It's a new area, new switching abilities. So the one question I do want to ask about Mark, like you were saying you were on the road all the time and Mark was doing all these changes. Did you come back to a lot of grief on YouTube? Or was that just me that gave it to you? Asking why is Mark doing all these changes and does he have permission? And
I don't know. No, I mean the plan was drawn out.
But your YouTube community didn't know about it. We didn't even know who Mark was.
Yeah, well, and that was that was one of those things. It took a little bit, I think, to get Mark on camera to get the first time. Mark, he was really a like behind the scene kind of guy. He made the magic happen, and he didn't want you to know that he was the magician.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, I mean, there's a lot of really cool things like the peekaboo. Mark said, people like a peekaboo, so that's why there's that opening right there. You see the top of the train, and then it disappears. And it's the same thing with the tunnel. It disappears, you say, oh, okay. And considering that, you know, there were some good things about the original track plan, but there was some serious limitations to it. And so on the upper level, if you come out of that tunnel right there, you go around the upper level 3 times before you leave, and that's what makes the railroad in the videos seem like it's huge, because you don't see the train. You don't know that this is all the same wall. By the time you see the train again, you think it's somewhere else. So that's the thing on the upper level, that it goes around 3 times before it exits it into the helix again.
Right.
And so
I got to ask you the big question of, do you have a favorite part on your layout?
do I have a favorite part?
You really like maybe the video or running of that area or switching of a certain area?
I like switching to mine up here, and I like Ridgeway. And here's another little, it's not funny because it was an argument, or what, it was a rough spot that Mark went through with me. When he was laying this out, he wanted to put this crossover in. And I said, we don't need this crossover here, Mark. We can run around the train into the tunnel and come back around it. Okay, so he had it all done. Even had ballast on stuff, I think. Come up here and went to run the train the first time, and I sit there and pulled my foot out of my butt and my fist out of my mouth, and I said, Mark, you're right. We should have put this. I should have let you put the switch in. He knew it needed to be there, and I was being a butt because I didn't see it. So he seen what it was. So what it allows us to do now, you know, the ready track up here, you can pull cars out and shove them in, or you can run around 3 or 4 cars without having to file the main line on both ends. The other way, you had the main line filed on both ends at one time. Here you can get around stuff and wait for a mainline train to clear and then shove it out and come back into the yard. But I think Ridgeway Yard, I like to film it because when the camera is back here, you can really get a sense of what's going on, and it's really nice if you got a short train sitting back there by the interlock tower, and then a train goes by on the main line. It's just something that makes the railroad look bigger than it really is. I mean, these sidings aren't that big, but it's fun, you know.
Well, 12 by 10 isn't very big, so that's right there. You got small space to fill. This is a great layout, and it just goes to show it can be done. You don't just have to do loops, you can do switching, and like you said, it goes around the top 3 times before it disappears into the helix. So,
and if you didn't want it to go into the helix, that track, instead of that crossover letting you go in there, you could just have the crossover bring you back in. This upper level could be a railroad all to itself.
Right on.
The lower level could be a railroad all to itself. You got the mine, or whatever this ends up being. I might make it a cut stone quarry. You got a siding over here to Danforth Furniture and what other industry flats you want to do. And then there's Clayton Junction over there. You got this would be a cattle pen area, and then you got 3 other sidings over there. So the lower level by itself is a lot more railroad than a lot of guys have.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I mean, and I'm not saying that in a bragging sense. I'm saying in a practical sense, you could model either the upper level of, you know, this is the upper river valley, and this is the lower river valley. And the little story, if you want to hear, of the railroad, okay? The valley got its railroad, it started into the valley in 1905. And the river, the river will be here, and when you're standing in the railroad, all of this fascia is river edge. So the river this is running around the river, and it crosses over the river. That's why it meanders around. So in 1905, the first tunnel portal to the upper valley was blasted out, and that's what it is. They run to the upper valley for the lumber, and bring it back down to the river to put it on barges or whatever, or just to take it out. This is another. This actually goes out to the patio, and we can put modules out there when they're built and run trains out and back in. But that's the story. This is the River Valley Railroad, and it's because it runs the river valley. and it's been around since 1905. And this is, in the railroad right here today, it's July 14th, 1956.
So you said 1905. Were you 3 years old at that time, and that's when you really got into the railroad?
No, I just figured that this was a short line railroad and it was about 50 years old.
Okay.
You know, it's got some older equipment, and the structures will be more aged.
Mm-hmm.
This town stuff that's up there was probably all going to get changed into maybe wooden type stuff.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, I just like the older era. There is a couple of snafus on there. There's a 1957 Chevy Nomad, but
nobody sees it.
but you know, that's what
So
it is.
the last question I'm going to have for you, I guess, is what was the biggest pain in the ass in here for you, besides the helix?
I think the biggest pain was realizing that there was some electronic stuff available. There used to be a control panel right here with toggle switches. And it stuck out like this. That and the swing bridge. Those were the two things that created issues. I don't know how many toggles I broke. So I think being able to get away from that type of control panel, eventually I'm going to have push buttons or something up here, but that's made possible because of the switch 8s and the mini panel.
Right.
So it was making that transition. My other railroad, the old River Valley, it went from DC to DCC, and it was small enough, and it was always just usually me by myself, so the toggle switches, I knew to suck my gut in, pull my butt out, or whatever. But for more than one person to be doing it, I think making the transition from DC thinking to DCC thinking, to take advantage of the electronic components, I think that was the biggest pain, was still being in that Stone Age type thing with the toggle switches.
And getting your head wrapped around like tortoises and switch 8s.
Well, no, I had tortoises, but the switch 8 I didn't have.
Right.
And the mini panel.
So you switch everything on your controller now? Like
yeah, there's no ground throws left, I think there's 43 tortoise switch machines in here.
That's quite a few.
Yeah.
Especially for 10 by 12.
And I just want to say that I'm flattered that you came down here, and that Vinny came, and that John came from California, and that you guys took the time to come down here and visit the River Valley Railroad. I wish Mark could have been here. I wish he was here to enjoy that. But I want to say that I appreciate all the work that Mark did, and the River Valley wouldn't be what it is if Mark hadn't spent countless hours.
And I'm sure Mark will be watching this video, chomping in the bit. Can't wait to comment on it, because I am quite impressed with your layout. Like I said, I thought it was at least twice the size of what it really is, and to run it and to watch other people run it, and to see you, how happy you are having us here being part of your layout, and is half the joy right there.
Yeah.
So, in the helix, well, I'll shoot a different video for that. I think I already did, but I might shoot some more. But we'll kind of explain that a little bit too. But Chuck, anything else you want to say to anybody?
No, I just want to say, thanks for all you guys that visit Sparky's channel. Don't forget to go see John, Dilly, and Vinny at BNSS 6951, and of course come and look at the River Valley Railroad. And thanks, Sparky, for putting me on your channel. I appreciate it, buddy.
Couldn't wait to meet you, my friend.
All right.
And this I'm putting in there just in case somebody did a super chat. And I always like the torpedo. If you guys did a super chat, thank you very much. If you haven't yet, hey, why not? All right, see you in a bit.
I haven't.
Just don't stop, because if it rolls on you, you can't shove it no further.
Right.
Amtrak doing freight switching.
Right.
And a close-up of his mustache.
That's good, John. That's good.
Okay.
Now, When you come out, when you clear 412, throw it back because you'll forget, and then a whole train might derail.
Right. So, gotta uncouple it?
No, it's already
done.
Oh, it is.
I offset them.
Oh, okay.
So you want to be going forward. Now wait a minute.
Nope. It's getting
What happened?
ready to go.
Sorry.
You're the person I'm trying to get in the video.
Now I'm going back to pick those cars up.
Right.
But I gotta throw this switch first.
And wait till the train is past the road.
Right. Oh, over here. See, it's okay. Because that's the switch points right behind. Got it.
Now you can go.
You can do that. 4, 1, 2. And it goes back to number 2.
No,
1. Okay.
see, try to remember, it tells you what position it's in if you're going to throw it the other way.
Right.
So it's like this one will tell you normal, and you want to go reverse. And when you pull out, you want to throw it back to normal. So
Right.
you're normal right now. That's mainline running.
Right.
See, I think switching the lumber yard's fun, because it's a lot of work.
Well, yeah.
But that's why we build the railroads and stuff, is to have fun and make it operational, right?
Huh?
So we build the railroads to make them operational and have fun, so.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing to build a layout that it just goes round and round all the time, but if you can't operate it.
Bump that a little hard so the
Okay.
coupler will couple, because that one's stiff. But once you hit it, stop so you don't run it. If it don't couple, we don't want to chase it down the helix. Let's see if we got it. Man, John, you do good work, buddy.
Oh, thank you.
And then here again, when you clear the points, throw 13 back.
Right.
So what do you think, John? Fun times?
Yes. Great times. Great times. Good learning experience.
What do you think of the size of the layout?
That's pretty cool. Manageable. It's beautiful.
But how big's this room?
10 by 10?
10 by 12.
10 by 12.
12 by 10, depending on which way you're facing.
My layout's a 14 by 8, so. But he's got more stuff on his. He's got both levels, and
What'd you think when you first walked in?
I thought it looked bigger on TV.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
But being in here running it, it's great. Learning about macros and accessory select switches.
Very easy with the NCE system.
Yes, it is.
I like that digicrap stuff.
I haven't run that yet.
Oh, yeah, don't.
I will get to later, I guess.
It's like playing with N-scale. Just might as well not do that either.
Okay, John, you're clear.
All right.
I'll let
And
you,
that's 414. Okay.
let you off the hook.
Don't move. I'm in here to stand up and explain stuff to you because you probably can't figure this crap out.
Hey, look who's coming in to see you.
Okay. Here's the mistake I made. See, I knew this was not going to have a good angle to it. So I started with putting 1/8" hardboard. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 1, 1 and 2. Okay. What I should have done was not put it here, but put it here. So I raised both of these up the same distance, because if you look over here, let me sneak back the camera. If you get down at eye level, you can see I got a little bit of a kick right there.
Yeah, you do.
So what I may have to do is get a small sawzall
Something got quiet.
and cut all this stuff loose and raise it up too.
Because you glued it all too, didn't you?
Yeah, these are glued.
Yeah.
Yeah, with yellow glue. Screwed from the top. And then the next one, see right here, I screwed it here and here, and then this is glued. But everything runs. Did his engine die?
Sounded that way.
Did you die on that turnout? I'm gonna yell. Hey, John, did you die?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, hold on just a second. I'm gonna get, you got power to the engine?
No, it's fine. I hear it.
No, do you got power?
Yeah, I got power.
Okay, I'm gonna push it, see if I can get you past the turnout.
11.5 the chat.
I can't reach it.
There should be
Hold on,
game
no,
going on.
I got $20 in this. I paid $5 a piece for these.
If you give it to him, I'm sure he would appreciate it, and I probably can get his address for you.
But
Or one of us can.
well, I think the deal would be if it's up there that I'd have to tell him, say, look, if you paid for the shipping on it, they're yours. And I could do a video and send it to him. Who has his address?
I don't know. If you want.
Somebody sent him some stuff.
I just know he's in Ottawa.
Oh, he's in Canada?
Yeah.
Oh, it'd cost me an arm and a leg.
Yeah,
to
it
get
would
that up
with
there.
the...
Yeah, but if he fixes it for free,
No, I don't want
Yeah,
him
but
to
then he'd
fix
have
it.
to-
I'm talking about for me to send it, and then he would have to pay some kind of stuff on it.
First problem is they're derailed.
Yeah, I know. But they do look cool.
Man, I'm glad that was Steve producing, not mine.
that line is
Right.
from where you are right now, and then you look at Joe down and see, comes closer. We used to actually have my daughter. We used to make some trips back and forth on highways.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes the drive go by. I mean, hell, when you were kids, we played, was it license plate?
Did you play I Spy?
Yeah. Or, see, we had games when Mom and Dad got us that had little sliding windows. You look for cars, different cars. Ford, Chevy, or whatever. You close the windows. When you get, like, tic-tac-toe, across or whatever, and you win.
This is what adults talk
it
about
was
when
fun,
they're driving
fun
at night.
stuff.
Are you doing a live stream?
Maybe.
He's pulling a toy man, just throwing it out there.
Or Roy?
Yeah, Roy's good for that.
See you in the morning.